chronically depressed. I wasn't depressed my whole life. I actually went through just a major bout of depression a couple years ago, and it was epic. It was an epic bout of depression, and I actually had a nervous breakdown when I was overseas, and I couldn't believe it. It was something that I couldn't pull myself out of. I became another person. I actually lost 3 full days of memory. And I looked at my husband and I said, we will never speak of this to anyone. And look at me, and now I'm speaking to everyone. And before we even landed the plane, I had found out about IV ketamine. And I found there were a few clinics in Houston doing it, and I had basically signed up for it. In a week, I had an appointment, and I went into this clinic, and I got an IV infusion, and within a day, I felt remarkably different, amazingly different. And I thought, this is great. And I went home and I told him, oh my gosh, this is life-changing. This is something that we could do.
Well, what ketamine is actually it's an anesthetic that's been around for about 50 years now. And over the last 15 years, it's actually been used for mood disorders. What I mean by that is people that have treatment-resistant depression, anxiety, OCD, PTSD, as well as chronic migraines, fibromyalgia.
Wow.
And so how it works, the science behind that is that whenever people take medication like Zoloft or Prozac, they're what we call serotonin reuptake inhibitors. And what they're trying to do is allow serotonin, which is a common neurotransmitter in the brain, as well as like dopamine or epinephrine, to be more readily available for the brain. And so when it's more readily available, it causes people's depression and anxiety to greatly diminish. So what ketamine does, it actually works on the most common neurotransmitter in the brain called glutamate. And so through this neurotransmitter, which again is the most common neurotransmitter in the brain, it decreases someone's depression, anxiety, PTSD, OCD. One of the things that Stacy and I wanted to relay to everyone out there is the fact that we want to break the stigma of mental health. And unfortunately, it does have that stigma to it. But to me, I think that mental health and just physical health should no longer have that label. It should be just health in general. As we all know that if your mental health is not there, you're not well with your psychological self, that it's a segue to your physical self to where you can overeat, you can undereat, you don't exercise, you're a recluse. So that in itself can cause physical.
Well, you shouldn't be any more embarrassed of having a mental disorder than you are having a broken leg or cancer or diabetes or anything else. You're able to talk about that. So we do encourage people to speak up and talk about it. The suicide rate is at an all-time high, I think at all ages. And so that is one of our big things, is to get people to reach out to their friends and their loved ones and talk about it 100%.
I know this is what is the actual process of getting treated with ketamine?
Well, the first thing we do, we always give a complimentary consultation. Typically it's a phone call consultation. And for that, I speak with clients over the telephone to describe what their situation is, why they're coming into the clinic to want ketamine. Then I'll obviously answer any questions, concerns they have. And then when they feel comfortable and want to move forward, then we schedule them. And then when they first initially come to our clinic, we obviously create a very peaceful, serene environment, because that's one of the more important things that we discovered, especially.
I'll take over. Once they get into the office and everything's been pre-screened, is your actual treatment is roughly an hour, a little bit over from start to finish.
Okay.
You come in, we try to make it as spa-like and as peaceful for you. You settle in, we have neck wraps, we get you comfortable, we make sure you're warm enough or cool enough. We get you hooked up. Things that you need to hook up, the proper monitors and all that. But people want to know, what it's actually like.
What does it feel like?
That's what people are wanting to know. What does this feel like? What are we getting here? And it is a disassociative feeling. So some people feel a little floaty. You feel a little bit like you're out of your body. People are scared, to hear that feeling. Like, do you feel high? Well, a little bit. You feel a little bit different. It's in a good way. Yeah. You feel very relaxed. For some people, they can feel a little bit emotional.
When you finish, we obviously make sure that you're comfortable and you're safe. And then after that, we just kind of slowly leave, and then you can just enjoy the rest of your day in your bed. Actually, we had one client that he felt so good after the treatment, he went and cycled 35 miles. So it depends.
That will not be me, folks. You know, I do not cycle. I will segue for 35 miles.
So yeah, it just really depends on the person and how they receive the ketamine.
So Stacy, I know a lot, and I know that you can't say for HIPAA and privacy reasons, but I know a lot of our friends and high-profile friends are very excited about this concierge service. Have you already rolled it out? Has it started?
We have rolled it out. There are certain people that want their own special surround sound, that want very, very specialized treatment and, personalized service. It's worth it, and we can make it as specialized as they want to, and I've really enjoyed being able to do that for them.
So when they pay that fee, are they going to have a doctor like you who comes and does
It's
it?
just me. It will be
yeah,
him.
That's the thing. I can
So
say
if you
that.
guys haven't seen him, he's hot. Like, he's hiding under this shirt. This is one hot duo. Like, I'm just telling you, that alone is worth $900.
We don't send anyone else. It will be us.
So I guess I have to go get hooked up. Should I change into pajamas?
Yes, let's get you in those jammies,
Definitely,
mister. Let's get you
definitely.
comfortable.
All right.
Set everything up. It is very, very on the up and up. Are you comfy, Mr. Pearce?
I have a big head.
Well, that's been established already.
I can.
Okay.
That has been well established on social media.
We
Okay.
already.
All right, so I'm phobic of needles, but this man is a genius with them. And if you've ever had a problem, like, I'm literally so legitimate. Seriously, I pass out. I tell every doctor.
I can attest to this.
There are only like 2 doctors, including my plastic surgeon and Juan, who've been able to do this because they use a really fine needle. I'm not even look at it, but maybe you can tell them what you're going to do.
Yeah, essentially, obviously, we're just setting up to get started an IV on you, and we actually use a very teeny needle. It's a pediatric sized needle, so that way we can access any vein that a person might have, because obviously
He can't even
person
hear
has
it
different
talked
veins.
about.
No, I can't. Like, honestly, I'm trying to
And let me
listen.
tell you something.
Because I will sweat and pass out. So like,
Mr. Pearce has some pretty hardy veins, so the fact that he is acting like this, I kind of want to flick him. But
you
that's
know-
just because I'm his best friend. But it's fine. Okay, it's alcohol, mister.
And we use a very small IV catheter on his pediatric size in his arm. And then after that, we hook him up to our cardiac monitor, which measures his heart rate, his blood pressure, as well as how well he's breathing. And then after we get a set of vital signs, then we'll use individuals that actually are a little anxious beforehand. We do use
I do
Versed.
love this concierge service. I'm coming back regularly.
Well, I'm glad.
Can I have scheduled appointments?
You should have scheduled appointments. We don't just show up at your door without them.
That's true. So now we're giving you the Versed, which will help decrease your anxiety. It's in the same class as like
That's much
Ativan
nicer.
and Valium.
Hi. I kind of want to go shopping at Louis. But you have water sounding. Now I know why you told me to pee.
It's okay, Matt. He doesn't have access to his phone. I have it, so there will be no shopping at
So the
Louis.
next thing we do, we set up the infusion pump, which will deliver the amount of ketamine we want to have, which is based upon his body weight, which was less than
what he wanted.
Less than what he wanted, exactly. So here we go.
Here we go. I will turn off the light and make it
Love you
ambient
guys.
in here. We want it very peaceful and zen. You. Nighty night, Mr. Pearce.
So, Mr. Pearce, how was your first ketamine experience?
It was amazing. Like, I thought, I wasn't sure I was going to go into, but it was. I thought about all of the things that were working on in my life, what was going on. It was the most positive, like waves of love or something going over, and thought about friends and family and how fortunate I am and our kids, and it was probably the best experience I've ever had as far as de-stressing and not worrying about these things, but thinking about them and being happy about them, feeling blessed for them. So I'm hooked. Like, I'm coming back next week.